Hey everyone, welcome back to the High Tea Hoops podcast. This is Brian Bosche at the Duke of Hoops. And today we have a very special guest, Dirk Williams from the London Lions. Watched you for the last few years. You got to play with Mike Tuck at the Sheffield Sharks. Really excited to have you on, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's start off with, I have interviewed a lot of British basketball players now, but we're both American. So we're both Americans in London talking about British basketball. So I grew up playing West Coast, kind of like the Mountain West regions. You grew up playing in Alabama. What was it like playing in the South in the States to give kind of British basketball fans maybe a little perspective of what it was like playing in that region?
Down in Alabama, a lot of guys are more athletic, a lot more physical. So I was able to, growing up during that time, be able to learn how to be more physical, even though, I'm a little bit skinny. But yeah. And being able to use my athleticism, I think that's probably the most important thing for me. And also, I took pride in my shooting. There was a stretch, where I could only do nothing but shoot. But, the athleticism and stuff came a little
Really?
bit
It was
later
shooting
on.
first and then the athleticism later?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
Usually
was
it's the
I
other
was
way.
just a Yeah, I was just a spot up shooter for up until I was about 16,
Yeah.
and then I really started to get the athleticism. Like I had it, but like I really started to use it more like in
Yeah.
games.
Who was the best players you matched up against? Any like crazy AAU tournaments or like playing in juniors?
Yeah, I don't think too many people know him, but one of the best guys I played against, his name was Marvin Witt.
Okay.
I really looked up to him. We went to school together. Orlando Coleman, which he's playing in Greece right now. He was a really good player as well growing up, all in Alabama. But when I moved to Virginia, I played against guys like Troy Williams, Anthony Cat Barber. Those guys were really good too growing up.
Yeah, there was like a viral Twitter post of like AAU's crazy because you'll like go to KFC for lunch after school and like go to a tournament and then you're playing against future NBA players and you're just like
Yeah,
the tournament style there is so crazy. Um,
yeah, for
and so you went
sure.
and so you went to play college basketball, University of Alabama at Birmingham. What was it like
Mhm.
playing college hoops like that? Because that's kind of a dream of a lot of young British hoopers here. What was it like kind of on your journey to actually go and play for the University of Alabama?
Actually, it was a great experience. I went to Juco for about 2 years, so I
Yeah.
got a chance to experience the recruiting process and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. And actually get to UAB was actually very interesting for me because it was in my hometown. I got to play in front of family for about 2 years, so it was definitely a
Yeah.
great experience. Being able to learn how to play team basketball and stuff like that.
So, a lot of people are like, oh, do I want to go to Juco for a couple years? Do I want to take that route? Like, would you recommend that for young British hoopers?
Yeah, especially like if the recruiting process isn't going well for you
Hmm.
early, I think JUCO is definitely a good process, to because a lot of big D1 schools actually come and watch a lot of JUCO players, and being playing in JUCO, there's a lot of good basketball players that play in JUCO. So yeah, I think JUCO is definitely a pretty good route, and it was something that they didn't really have back in the day, but they have it now. So it's definitely, I would say it's definitely a good process. Obviously you only get about 2 years in D1, but
Yeah.
still, like you still getting a chance to play Division 1, especially if you go there and take it serious and get better.
Yeah. There's so many Juco players that have the talent or athleticism or skill set of D1. What do you see as kind of the biggest
Mhm.
difference between Juco and D1 players?
Um, Basketball wise, I don't really see too much of a difference.
Yeah.
I think it's more, just the luxury and all that type of stuff that
Yeah.
Division 1 has over JUCO. I think that's probably the biggest difference. A lot, you get to Division 1, there's free food all the time.
Yeah.
You get the lounge areas and the locker rooms.
It's
More
insane.
more structure, yeah, more structure with coaching. You got a bigger coaching staff, so that's probably one of the biggest differences. I know that once you get to Division 1, you're a lot more well coached in junior
Yeah.
college. Junior college is all about you and trying to get recruited for Division 1.
What excited you about going to the BBL?
Oh, well,
Because you
when
went
I
right to
first,
Sheffield, right? You went right to
yeah,
Sheffield
yeah,
Sharks.
yeah, I was super excited, being able to come to the UK because it's not really too much of a culture change.
Hmm.
Everybody speaks English, and I was
Yeah.
always interested about, being in the United Kingdom. And I think Sheffield, them first 2 years was a very good experience for me. Got a chance to get a lot better.
I mean, you led the league in scoring, right? You had a viral dunk. I think that's when I first saw you, was the viral dunk on the Surrey Scorchers that had like millions of
Yeah.
views across platforms. What was it like going viral like that?
It was actually a very fun experience, because being over here so far ahead, and then I wake up in the morning, and a lot of my friends are like, "Yo, you was on Sports Center and all that stuff." So I
Yeah,
didn't really
yeah,
see it until the next morning. So like once I blew up, I think all that stuff blew up like while I was asleep. So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
actually pretty cool to be able to wake up to that.
yeah. So it's massive amount of notifications. You're just like, what happened? Like something happened last night and it got reshared everywhere.
Yeah. And I put my phone on do not disturb at night, so I didn't really hear my
Yeah,
phone buzzing and stuff. So once I saw it this morning, it was like the next morning it was crazy.
yeah,
We
getting
got
picked
like
up by everyone.
we got like a lot more followers and everything. So it's pretty cool experience.
Yeah, let's try to get another viral moment this year. I think it's coming. Also, I was thinking about this. Carol's one of the photographers for the Lions, or the team photographer for the Lions. And there's so many good like videographers, photographers at these Lions games. And I've noticed the last few seasons, you're one of the best dunkers I've seen, but I think you are the best after dunk, hang on the rim, jump off. Like the swinging on the rim, I think is like an elite skill that you have. Do you focus on that? Do you take pride in that?
Yeah, I like my swings on the rims. I think it gets the crowds more into it. When I'm swinging on the rim, coming down and just yelling or whatever. I try my best to try to get the crowds into the games.
Do you
I'm
have
an
different
entertainer, so
poses? Different, like in your head, are you like, all right, I'm going to come back. Like I just posted the photo of you. Like it looked like you were dabbing. I know you weren't dabbing, but like coming off the back, like, do you go through? I'm like, all right, I'm going to come off this way, this time, this way, another time.
I think a lot of the time it's just going with it. I
Yep.
just go in, think at the last minute, like, yeah, I'm gonna hang on the rim here.
Yep.
Sometimes I just like to, just throw it in real quick, still dunk it like super hard. But
Yeah.
a lot of those swings are just me trying to swing on the rim, and maybe sometimes it's a defender there, and I'm trying not to
Yep.
land
Yep.
on them and stuff like that as well. So it's about my safety too. But it
It's,
is fun, swinging on the
yeah.
rim.
It's really fun to watch. It's scary too, though, because like the Andrew Bogut's, like you see these guys slip off the rim, and it's like, oh, Dirk, be careful. Just
Yeah,
be careful out there,
yeah,
man. They're
yeah. I
exciting.
will.
And
Yeah, I've
then
seen them.
yeah, it can be scary out there. What are some of the biggest? You mentioned like the coaching is pretty similar. I've seen the British style is kind of a hybrid between Europe and US basketball. What do you see as kind of the bigger differences between basketball in the States versus in the UK?
Um, I would say the pace and stuff is very similar. Here in the UK, it's a lot athletic. You got a lot more smaller, scrappy guards that like to play up and
Yeah.
down. I think that's the best thing about being here. It's fast paced, playing up and down. A lot of teams want to score in like the first maybe 10 to 12 seconds of shot
Yeah.
clock. So I think that's one of the similarities. But the difference is, they still have that European style. You still have a lot of teams that like to play very half court heavy.
Yep.
A lot of half court sets and stuff like that. So I think with that, I think that's probably the biggest difference is half court sets and stuff like that. A lot of teams out here like to run plays, to get some guys going.
Yeah. You see that in the FIBA Europe Cup, the kind of the clash of styles. You guys are out and running. You guys are much more
Yeah.
free flowing versus the half court sets, the 10 passes before a shot, which is really interesting to see. But before we get into the FIBA Europe Cup, you joined the Lions last season. What excited you to go? I think you went to Hungary to play for a year. Is that right?
Yeah. I was in Hungary the year before. The
What
COVID
excited
year.
you to come back to London, back to the UK, and kind of embark on this new, 777 partners owning the Lions, getting into Europe journey that kind of the Lions are on right now?
Yeah, well, it was right after the season. Right after the hungry season, I had just had my son. So during that year, I was going through,
Congrats.
not being able to get things. I
Yeah.
wasn't. I was going through it, not being able to see him grow up and stuff like that. So, I talked to my agents, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I think I want to, try and find a good team to play for in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a couple teams. London Lions ended up being one of the teams that were pretty highly interested. So I got interested and we got it done. And I was super excited, especially
Yeah.
last year, seeing like some of the players that were recruiting, Kevin Ware, DeAndre Liggins that
Yep.
past year. So it was very exciting, to be able to play with that type of talent. And also this year, there's some good talent as well with Isaiah Reese
Yeah.
Marcus Teague, Julian Washburn. Those guys are really fun to play with as well. And on the British side, it's been pretty exciting to play with Jordan Williams.
Yeah. I
Learn a
played
lot
against
from
him this summer
Justin
in
Robinson.
pickup. He showed up at pickup
Yeah.
court this summer at Turnpike Lane.
Yeah. It's a strong
And
dude right there.
oh my God, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so coming back this season, the Treviso team was incredible, and they ended up qualifying for BCL. So that was a tough first round matchup. But you actually get to play in the FIBA Europe Cup this season, because last year it was COVID just kind of decimated that, the chances there. So what's exciting? I mean, let's give some context. You've gone 4-0 now. You're undefeated in the Europe Cup. The games have been really fun to watch at the Copper Box the last couple of weeks. And what has it felt like to really get some success in Europe? And this is pretty historic for a British basketball team.
Actually, it feels real good. We're still trying to figure out ways to, maybe make sure we handle the success the right way. But, it feels real good to be able to make history, and be a part of that. So, making history has definitely been fun. We've always been motivated. I know me personally, I've been motivated since last season because, we got hit with the COVID thing right before. So,
and the last second shot
exciting.
in the qualifier game too, like so close.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You're talking about for Champions League, right?
Yeah, for the Champions League qualifier.
Yeah.
When you guys had 3 weeks to play together or something, like it was so fast after the team came
That's
together.
That's the hardest part about preparing for Champions League. A lot of those guys in Champions League are probably more like getting here a lot earlier, and we're getting here maybe like a month before. So it's kind of hard to be able to get a new team gel together in just a month. It takes a couple months, and I think we've been a lot more prepared for FIBA Europe Cup, and I think that it really showed.
Yeah. With so much talent coming in, you have, like you said, a lot of the good guards, Kyler Kelly, Washburn, Teague. What is one of the most important factors for you to have success in games when there are so many players that can get hot, that can do things? Is there's too much talent, or like last year was a little bit of like who gets the ball? What do you think is the most important factor for kind of having success on the court with that many people that can contribute?
For me, it's just about consistency. I feel like me personally, I can impact the game more than just scoring. So I just whoever like Teague said in the interview, I think it was after the game. Who's ever hot that night. You just got to ride that wave.
Yeah.
So last game it was Teague and Isaiah Reese. So we rode that wave. There's been games where I've been hot too. And everybody has ridden that wave. So it's really just about who's hot that night. You just never know who's going to have the hot night, and that's what I like about this team.
What's helped kind of come to have everyone come together as a team?
It's been countless. We've had a few meetings and stuff like that. About trying to get a structure and find our identity, and I think that's what we've done. We found our identity, and I think going into that first game, playing against the team in Netherlands, Groningen. We found our identity, pushing the ball ahead, playing fast, running sets when we actually need to. And I think that's probably our identity right there, using our athleticism, our speed. But it's just about finding our identity and, just riding with that and getting better as a team. I think we're all locked in as a team. We're very interested in getting better. We gel together. A lot of us guys are, we all got pretty good chemistry. I think the chemistry is real good this year.
Yeah. The body language, the positive attitudes on the court, like everyone is really respectful, being on the sidelines, you can see there's not a lot of snappiness. There's not blame. There's just a lot of positive energy, which is good to see. And I think the real test of that was in the game this Wednesday. I think he went into halftime. Groningen was playing really well. We were watching from the sidelines. I was like, wow, these guys are coming out hot. And you surged back in the third quarter. I think you got hot from three too. I think it was like 60%, or you just kept hitting three after three. What was the attitude in the locker room going into that second half to really, I need to look at the box score. It seemed like they did not score in the third quarter and you guys just came out on fire. What was the attitude going into that third quarter to put that game away?
Yeah, I just know, going in, we weren't very aggressive on defense. We let them get a rhythm. So, going into the locker room, I think actually like Vince didn't really need to talk about it too much. We talked about it amongst ourselves, that we needed to pick up the energy and play a lot more aggressive and play fast because we weren't playing as fast in the first half. So I think once we upped the intensity on defense, it kind of deflated them a bit. I think that's what helped us is the defense. So like once we don't let defense affect, we don't let defense affect our offense. We put defense first. I think that's what we did in the second half.
Yeah.
So we put defense first. We took pride in it. Everybody started to play hard. Isaiah Reese coming late in that second quarter, how hard he was playing in defense. I think it was super contagious. Everybody wanted to start to do that going into the third. We picked it up in the third quarter, and it kept going in the fourth.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything scarier or more depressing as a team when the other one clamps you down on defense, everyone's in your face, and then they just keep hitting 3 after 3 on you. It really gets to you, and that's what you guys did in the third quarter and kind of cruise to the end there. Let's get to know the team a little bit more. So I'm going to do some rapid fire questions because I don't know. This team is, there's a lot of British players that are same. There's a lot of you've stayed on, obviously, but there's a lot of new players as well. So I would love to get to know some more of the people. I'm just going to do rapid fire about different players, best dress, best hops, team dad, go through. First one that pops into your head, yell it out. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the funniest player on the team?
Ooh, funniest player, I would have to say maybe I think we got a lot of goofy guys on the team. Colin Kelly's funny. Isaiah Reese is very funny. Julian Washburn's funny. So I think there's goofy guys. Teams. Yeah, we got a really good goofy team this year.
All right, who's the biggest nerd now that Joe's sitting courtside with the cyber nerds?
Biggest nerd I would probably say is maybe Lorenzo.
All right. Why does he? What sci-fi fantasy?
Video games? He loves talking about those shows like Star Wars movies. He's a big brainiac. He loves to read all types of stuff. So yeah, I would definitely say it's Lorenzo.
Other than you, best hops?
Kylie Kelly for sure.
Yeah, wow, 7-footer with the best hops. Love to see it. Most likely to make the team run sprints in practice?
Well, the only person that's made us have to run right now is Jordan Williams. We had to run because of him at the beginning of the season. We haven't really had 2 since, but that's probably one of the most ones I would say make us run.
This story just came out on TikTok. Bob Huggins from West Virginia. The treadmill, the 45-second sprints. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I've actually heard of that. I've heard of that one and the bike sprints. The bike with the fan on
God.
it. That one's deadly as well.
So
I had to do that in college.
So he said instead of like running sprints, if you mess up in practice, people can jog. He put it like 18 miles per hour, treadmill on the side, and you have to sprint for 45 seconds. That was killer.
Yeah, that actually sounds pretty.
That's awful.
Pretty tiring. Yeah.
Team dad.
Team dad. I'd probably say Justin Robinson. He's good at holding everybody accountable. I've had plenty of times where I see him over there telling me like, "Yeah, you need to do this, you need to do that." So
yeah,
I definitely would say Justin Robinson probably team dad.
Who is most likely to be late for the bus?
Jordan Williams.
Yes, I love the back-to-back Jordan. Who's most likely to be an influencer during their basketball career or after?
Marcus Teague.
All right. Why Marcus?
He's definitely one of those guys, when we're down as a team, besides Justin Robinson, when we're down, he's that guy that's always giving us the good words of encouragement, to pick us up as a team. He always has the right thing to say. So I think he's a good influencer for the team.
Who's most likely to play a prank on another teammate?
I would say Andre Lockhart.
All right. Love that. Who could be pro in another sport?
Josh Ward Hibbert.
Oh, he's the tennis, like basically the tennis pro, right?
He's really good at table tennis as well.
Great. Well, that's my question. That's a great run. I don't think you'll get in trouble. I don't think Jordan will mind. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, no. Me and him are goofing around and stuff all the time about certain things. So I'm sure he'll probably think it's funny.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of the storylines coming out of this like 4-0 start, this hot start, what do you think it would mean for British basketball to have success in the Euro Cup?
I think it would be very big, especially if we was to make it all the way. I think we'll probably be the first team to make it all the way, to being able to get to the championship. And, even if we have the chance to win, I think it'll be huge for British basketball. I think it'll actually put a lot more respect on British basketball, which I think right now, we're actually pretty highly respected now. I think a lot of teams in the Euro Cup are probably like, I don't think they expected us to make it this far or even get defeated. So I think, we've definitely got eyes on us, and we just got to learn how to handle success and just keep it going.
Yeah, there is one part. There's like the building interest in the sport in the UK, in London, and then also like international respect. Like other teams going, wow, like coming out of London, like this team is for real. This isn't just, this isn't what it's been maybe the last decade or so. Does it still kind of shock you how it's still like, I'm still like, why, what is stopping fans from going to games, or why is British basketball so much, smaller than the States or other European countries? It still shocks me coming from the States. It kind of breaks my brain sometimes when I'm like, where is the interest? Where are like the raving fans? I still don't really get it.
And then it's crazy because when I walk around London and see, it's a lot of people that's very interested in basketball.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe about trying to broadcast the team a little bit more. Maybe ticket sales, making tickets a bit cheaper or something. I think also too it's about trying to get as many children to the game as you can.
Yeah.
Maybe making a lot of those where students get in free and stuff like that. Because there's been times where especially in the Europe games, where we've had students come in and they've just been
go crazy.
Yeah. So that's the type of stuff you want to see on the sidelines. After someone dunks and you see them over there and they're going crazy. So I think trying to get a lot more kids to the games as well, because that's the youth. They're going to be the ones that's growing up, and they'll have something else to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, that's high school games.
I think a lot of kids do like basketball. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of kids do love it here. Like you had a huge student section, or a lot of like the academy kids were on the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, they were electric too. I loved every bit of it.
All right. So after FIBA Europe Cup, we'll move on here. What do you like to do outside of the sport? Let's get to know you a little bit better, off the court of basketball.
I like to, hang with my family, my wife and son. We're hanging out, play with my son, and also I like to play video games. I'm on 2K like every day, so that's probably one of my biggest things that I like to do in my off time is when I have time to play some 2K.
Any favorite London spots? I just moved here too. Any like great places? Any recommendations?
Eating wise, I've been to Cabby's.
Okay.
Cabby's is jerk chicken. It's very good. There's this other place called Ayana's. If you like Caribbean food, it's really good. And a good place, for food, and if you want to get drinks, I've been to the Alchemist. It's right here near where I stay.
Oh, nice.
Wharf. So those are some of the main places that I've been to so far. Me and my wife try to have a date every week, so we're still trying to explore and find different places to go eat at and stuff like that as well.
Nice, man. And then last question, any advice for young British hoopers? You played in the UK for a while now. You've kind of seen, you do the community work. You see the kids growing up, looking up to the BBL. Any advice for these hoopers?
What I say is, just keep going, keep trying to perfect whatever you want to perfect. Just keep having that mentality to want to get better. Maybe try and watch some of your favorite players. And find some moves and stuff that you want to do to get better. I think that's probably the most important thing, is to have that mentality and want to keep getting better, and learn how to be coachable as well.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Good luck with the rest of the season, the BBL and the Euro Cup. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.